Good afternoon, ladies. Thanks for joining me again. For those who are watching, if you missed our episode last week, this is part 2 of a 3-part series between myself and Dara and Kathy, who are health coaches, just discussing immune support and things that our patients and our clients can be doing during this time and in general to protect themselves and to keep themselves healthy. I know last visit I led the discussion in all things related to gut health and how we talk about how gut health is really the cornerstone of health in general. If our gut is functioning in a state of dysbiosis, it's really hard to ensure that we're digesting and absorbing all of the nutrients that we need to keep our bodies fighting off these different infections and things that we face on a day-to-day basis. So we also addressed supplements, and we basically just said, make sure you're working with a health professional or a health coach to ensure that you're getting quality supplements that have been tested for potency and purity. So today what I want to address and what Dara is going to lead is food as medicine. So if you're not using any supplements, she's going to give us an idea of what foods we can eat to make sure that we're getting all of the nutrients that we need.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We talked last time about the supplements, like she said, and one of the things I like to talk to my clients about is that you cannot ever out-supplement an unhealthy diet and lifestyle. We want to promote eating lots of nutrient-rich foods and optimizing lifestyle practices and self-care practices, and Kathy's going to talk a little bit more about that next time. But today I want to just talk about food and things that you can do and add in to help with immunity and even preventing inflammation. In terms of diet, one of the main and most important things is to try to avoid simple sugars and processed junk food. Sugar has a tendency to feed and replicate bacteria when it's in our body. So if we already have a virus coming at the host, which is our bodies, and we eat a lot of sugar, it has a tendency to feed that bacteria. So if you can, try to avoid it altogether, or at least try to scale back some, especially right now when we're trying to take care of our immune systems. The second thing is that I like to talk to clients about, instead of focusing on restricting foods, adding in good nutrient-dense foods. So one of your more recent posts talks about eating the rainbow, all the colors in the rainbow, and that's really what I like to focus on is, when you look at your plate, does it look colorful? Usually if it's colorful, it has lots of nutrients and phytochemicals that help us fight off viruses and bacteria. So that's a good way to focus your meals. And then, once you get that more under control in terms of what you're eating, you can start focusing on foods that actually are antiviral, antibacterial foods, like spices, things like turmeric, cinnamon, garlic. I add garlic to almost everything. Onion is great for prebiotic and probiotic, it has those properties in it. So some of the foods that have high nutrient properties in them, and I'm going to look at my notes here because I don't want to leave out anything that's really important, but we've been hearing a lot about zinc, especially right now with this virus. Zinc has the potential to prevent viruses from multiplying, so very important for you to be getting your daily recommended amount of zinc. And some of the foods that you can eat to acquire zinc is pumpkin seeds, lentils, beans, grass-fed beef, quinoa, eggs. And to get enough zinc, sometimes what we tell clients to do is to learn to practice something like a meatless Monday, where you're actually consciously working to add in those foods that are usually not served with meat, animal protein. Another important one is vitamin C, and most people go straight to the citrus fruits for vitamin C, but you can get a lot of vitamin C from berries, bell peppers, kale, broccoli, leafy, all the leafy greens really, and papaya. So adding in some new fruits and vegetables to get that vitamin C is a good idea too. Glutathione is really important. It's one of our master antioxidants. It mops up all the free radicals and helps with detoxification. And that's one that I like to talk about with adults doing intravenously if you have a hard time detoxing. But obviously right now that's not really a great option for people. So some of the foods that you can eat are, again, those leafy greens, kale, broccoli, cauliflower. You know, maybe instead of rice, you can make some rice cauliflower as a side, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. So all of those leafy vegetables. You hear a lot about probiotics, and that's one of the ones that it really is important for immune health. But you can pack a much bigger punch with probiotics by eating foods that are rich in probiotics. So some things that we recommend are unsweetened yogurt, kefir, kombucha, and kombucha sometimes is an acquired taste, but it really packs a good probiotic punch. Sauerkraut, pickles, real pickles that don't have artificial coloring and flavoring are great for kids to get kids to get those probiotics. And then some other ones we don't want to leave out in terms of inflammation are omega-3s. We want to make sure we have a good balance with omega-3s and omega-6s, and so that's going to be all of your fatty fish, your small fish. So salmon, oysters, caviar, seaweed is also a good one. Chia seeds and flax seeds do offer a lot of omega-3s. This is a great time to include fish into your diet at least once a week or so. And then I want to talk about vitamin D because it's such a big source of, it's a hot topic right now because of immune health, but we know for sure that it lowers the rates of infection, it fights bacteria, and the best way to get that is through time in the sun, first thing in the morning, that first sun in the morning. And so, but aside from that, again, those fatty fishes, cod liver oil, you can get it in oil form if you don't like fish. If you tolerate cow's milk, you can do dairy products, and mushrooms are very high in vitamin D. But other than that, the most optimal way to get vitamin D is through the sun. So I'm going to let Kathy tell us a little bit about like your recommendations about people getting out in the sun and how they can do that, best time of day, etc.
I think that we're seeing now, just in the situation that we're in, that I see a lot more families outside, spending a little time together, getting a little more active outside. And as Dara pointed out, really the best way to get vitamin D is through sunlight, absorbed through your skin, which is an organ. It's your largest organ. And so getting outside, trying to incorporate physical activity into your day. And really, I know that can sound daunting, but it doesn't have to be hours a day. It can be 10, 15 minutes here and there. I believe the recommendation is about 150 minutes a week, which equates to about 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And so I think, it's definitely something that's doable that you can work up to, but it's something to really think about because regular exercise is a great immune supporting activity, both mentally and physically. So it's a great thing to try to work into your life. As Dara pointed out before, the healthy diet is also a big piece of having a healthy lifestyle. Hydrating properly. A lot of us walk around dehydrated, and it's very important for many reasons to stay hydrated. And a big reason is that we want our bodies to eliminate the waste that we take in on a daily basis. And a good way of doing that is staying properly hydrated. Sleep, having a good sleep hygiene is another activity that's very important. It helps not only support your immune system, but also your mental health, and helps in stress reduction. And next week, when we talk a lot more about all these in greater detail, we're going to really focus on stress. Stress management is so important to our immune system. It's so important to help us deal with chronic stress. And so that can be something that really tears down your immune system. And so we need to really get more in tune with just taking care of our bodies and self-care.
I'm looking forward to hearing what all you have to say at our next video about lifestyle. Definitely a lot of things to touch on when it comes to other factors. And Dara, I just want to say thanks for all the information you put out today. It really sounds like variety is the key to making sure that we get a little bit of everything, not just every day, but throughout the week. Try and get a different colored fruit or vegetable every single day, just so you can kind of hit all of those different things that our food has to offer. And I also wanted to just touch on fish oil one more time, because I think it's so important. You know, a lot of what we're talking about in immune support has to do with inflammation in our body, and that goes along with eating an unprocessed diet that's as whole foods as possible, but also making sure that your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio is where it needs to be. It should be a 1-to-1 ratio, but the standard American diet has created a 1 in 20 or a 40 ratio, with the higher being the inflammatory omega-6s from our grains. So we can reduce that by watching our dietary intake, or reducing our dietary intake of grains and inflammatory foods, while simultaneously increasing our intake of omega-3s or fish oils, or supplementing with a fish oil to help fight and lower those omega-6s. And I think that is so important, and I just had to reiterate it when it comes to inflammation and immune support. So I just want to say thank you again to both of you for joining me. I really enjoy making these videos with both of you. I think the three of us putting our heads together and combining our knowledge and information for all of our patients and clients is just the best thing to do right now, and to help continue pushing the information out there for everybody. So with that being said, I look forward to talking to you both next week about lifestyle changes, and we'll let Kathy take the lead then.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Bye, ladies.